articles. DJ Bruce Almighty says, Mike, I liked your list, but you hurt me when you crossed Jeezy off for Troy. Shaking my head. I was rocking with you. I laughed my ass off. I got beef. And you know, it's funny you mentioned that because I personally think that's why a site like the Shade Room actually picked up the list. And you know
Is
what?
that where we're
I
starting? Are
didn't
we gonna start with
initially
behind the scenes?
I didn't initially cross out Jeezy to be shady, right? I had it on the list, and by the time I wrote my shit by hand, right? And by the time I got to number 25, I had Jeezy's name in there, and then I thought Pastor Troy, and I was like, between the two, I'm sitting there weighing everything out, and we're about to talk about that in a second. And then I lined Jeezy out, and then put Pastor Troy instead, and just posted it from there. And it was like, I think that that's the part that kind of got this thing going viral, unfortunately, because every article I read seems to point that out. Let me go to this article
But hold on,
real quick. Go ahead.
no. Before we go to the article, I would like you to state your position about some things.
Okay.
Is your article up live on the screen?
Yeah.
The article, is your list up? The list that went viral, is it up?
Yeah. Well, I got both of our lists up on the screen.
Oh, both of our lists up?
Yeah.
Very problematic. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sign in. Oh, this is some bullshit. Oh my God, YouTube wants you to sign. This is some bullshit. I'm Coop. Stop asking me to sign it. They're asking me to sign into my shit. Mike, keep going while I sign into my shit.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the article and then we'll get into both of our lists. So this article comes from.
I want to get into your list.
Yeah, we're getting to my list. This article comes from Hot New Hip Hop. Shout out to them, man. They actually said our names in the article, so peace to them.
Well,
and I wanted
everybody
to read
else, everybody else other than the Shade Room has. That's part of.
Okay.
Hold on.
The
That's
Hip-Hop
what I
DX
want to
do
talk
that too?
about. I want to talk about that too.
Well, let me read this. It says Scarface named the best Southern MC of all time in a viral top 25 list. He took the number 1 spot while Lil Wayne followed at number 2. T.I. snagged number 3, and rounding out the top spots. If you didn't already have something to argue about this evening, the internet has submitted an offering. Another top list has been making the rounds online. And at this point, people are used hip-hop to create a stir when posts like these go viral. We know all too well that the debates are sparked by someone's opinion regarding the best artist in the game. And this time we're taking a look at the top 25 Southern MCs of all time, courtesy of According to Hip Hop. It's number 2, not T.O., but I appreciate the love. Anyway, they said to begin, some social media user took issue with the word MC being used as not every rapper is an MC. I want to cover that. However, that's a minor topic of discussion at this list in itself, creating an uproar. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up. This shows Pastor Troy at 25. He took the spot, it seems, as an afterthought because Jeezy initially held the position until he was crossed off the list altogether. Making our way up, next is Killer Mike at 24, Quavo at 23, 2 Chainz at 22, Big Crit at 21, and closing out the 20s is Currency. Mystical was able to snag number 17, Project Pat at number 10, Bun B landed 14, Andre was 9, just below Outkast group mate Big Boy, who made number 7, and just above him 6, Rick Ross. We'll take a look at the list in its entirety below in the number 1 spot, which sparked conversation. Let's talk about that MC and rapper thing.
First of all, my list isn't up here. I can't see it, but I know what my list is. Your list is very problematic.
Hold on. You don't see it up on the screen now?
I don't care about that. I know what my list looks like.
Okay.
Let's talk about your list. Your list.
LP says they're accusing y'all of doing what they do. LOL. All right, what problem do you have on my list?
It's very acute.
What problem do you have on my list? I would love to address every part of it. Because you know what? Do you want me to give you the problems that I have with my list? I'll let you go first.
What I'm saying. See, I need somewhere where I can just like look at your list. Can you like text me your list?
I'll text you my list real quick.
I
But
just wrote some things down right quick. First of all, you have Luda at 18 and Gucci at 19. Please explain yourself.
hold on 1 second. Let me send you the list real
Yeah,
quick.
send it to me.
I'll text you
Quavo
that.
at 23 is a problem, Mike. I told you Quavo at 23 is a problem.
I don't think so at
Quavo's not
all.
a top 25 Southern MC, Mike. He's not.
Okay.
You see, you're talking like you're kind of giving like you're giving like Quavo like some Bill Russell type credit, but that you don't be giving Bill Russell. It's like, oh well, he's such a great team leader
Nah, he's
and
a part of a
such a
lot
great
of greats.
builder, and it's like it's like no, like it's like Mike, it's like we on some rap shit though. So it's
No,
like
I hear
Quavo.
that. But see, this is the thing, and I preface this list with this
Quavo's
state.
just too high, Mike. You got Quavo at 23. That's the first thing I want you to explain. I want you to explain your
No, no,
rationale
I want
for
to
having
start. No,
Quavo.
no, no,
You
no,
got
no.
Quavo. Think about this. You got Quavo at 23, but you crossed Jeezy out. And Jeezy, fuck this album shit, Mike. Jeezy made Trap or Die 1 and 2. And you got Quavo at
Well, I'm
23,
glad
and
you
you got
mentioned
Jeezy
Jeezy.
crossed out?
I'm glad you mentioned Jeezy. Let's take this one step at a time. I want to
Okay,
start it. Let's start at
what is this?
25.
We going through the 12 steps?
Let's start at 25, right?
Right.
And all of this stuff with the whole Jeezy and Pastor Troy and all of that. I want to start with this, right? And for people who don't know, Pastor Troy is somebody who came along from on an independent level. And what was that? 99 from Augusta, Georgia, took Atlanta by storm. Took over. That I Declare War was everywhere. And it wasn't just a one-hit wonder with We Ready and all of that. He had shit all over the place. He was running the city. The belt was autonomous with him, his movement, to the point where, like I said offline, there were like 3 other MCs who were just totally jacked his style and had hits with it. Drama had Left, Right, Left. Miracle had Bounce at the time. Archie Eversole, rest in peace. He had his record. What's the name of that record? We Ready. Yeah, same title, right? And Troy was a flag bearer. Everybody needed Troy on the record. Ludacris on his independent release, Incognito, he needed Troy on that record as an independent artist. T.I. on I'm Serious, he needed Troy on the remix of I'm Serious to have a record that was banging in Atlanta at the time, because none of those really caught wind except for Doughboys in the Trap. And that kind of like, that was one of those things that kind of took legs later on. Saying all this to say, anybody who's aware of Pastor Troy's record, Are We Cutting, that Timbaland produced, that was on the Triple X soundtrack, knows that Jeezy, young Jeezy, stole Pastor Troy's style.
Now
It's highly documented as well. Troy's even talked about it in interviews. He said they had the same producer, Shawty Red. Shawty Red allowed Jeezy to use his flow. And it is what it is. I remember, and this is just my experience with it, right? At the time, I was working in Atlanta radio. I was in those music listening rooms they used to have where they would get everybody that was in radio and play the new stuff that was about to be added to rotation. I remember hearing Jeezy stuff before it even got on the radio, even before that. And I'm sitting here listening to this like, y'all don't hear that he had taken Pastor Troy's whole flow, whole style, and everything. And I guess everybody ignored it, right? Whatever. That's fine. And maybe the rest of the world doesn't know that. But again, we talk about hip-hop here, right? I can't sit there and put somebody over the person that they totally jacked their whole style from. Can't do it. That's why it was lined out. I had Jeezy's name there, and then I thought about it. I was like, I'm looking at Troy's impact. I'm looking at all the people that pretty much ate off Troy and never really gave back, to be perfectly honest. You know what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on when it comes to that, because he was bigger. When Troy came through the door, he was bigger than Luda. He was bigger than T.I. He was bigger than Lil Jon. He was bigger than all these guys. And when these guys got their opportunity, they didn't reciprocate that. And this is from somebody at the time, I wasn't even a Troy fan like that. I'm just observing the movement. And the movement was real. This man was Mr. Birthday Bash. And for people who don't know what Birthday Bash is, that's Atlanta's version of Summer Jam. So we're not going to act like this didn't happen. And it's one thing that he did all these things and doesn't get credit for it, but I'm not going to put the person who stole his whole fucking style over him. I'm just not going to do it. It's hip-hop, right? I got a thumbs down. Great. DJ Bruce Almighty says, I'm from Miami. What made you take off Trick Daddy? Yes, I have a problem with that. I'm going to address that. And I'm wrong. I think Trick Daddy deserves to be on there. And he said, do
Top
you
25?
really? He
You think
said, do
Trick
you?
Daddy's top 25?
I think so. He said, do
Both of
you
y'all
really
tripping.
have Project Pat over him? Yes, I do. Quavo,
Both of y'all tripping.
yeah.
Both of y'all tripping.
Maybe I'm biased because I'm from Florida. You know what? I think that I'm gonna address that in a second. I do think I need to put Trick on here over somebody, and you might hate who I'm gonna put him over. Man, there with
Probably.
the super chat says I can't even remember a Quavo bar. No classics.
He's right.
Um,
That's what
who's
I'm
an
saying, Mike. Like when you
and
say
LP with
Quavo,
this?
like you got Quavo?
I said LP says Pastor Troy is not a better MC than Fonte, Jeezy, Rhapsody,
He's
Trick
not.
Daddy, and a
He's not.
host of others. That's local stuff. He influenced Miracle, Horrible. Okay. So y'all
Okay.
really hold on.
Let's unpack a
I
couple
wanna
things.
address that because I know you're a Jeezy fan, right? You really think Jeezy is a better MC than Pastor Troy? Bar
Okay,
wise,
so
does Jeezy have a
yes,
vice versa out
hold on,
there?
hold on. So that's what I'm saying. This is like, let's cut all the album shit, Mike. That's what I was about to tell you. Trap or Die 1 and Trap or Die 2 is better than everything Pastor Troy's ever made.
I disagree.
Hold on. Literally, with the exception of We Ready, vice versa. But you are totally right about the whole we cutting thing. Friday night, Ballin'
Yeah.
Homes, yeah. He in the background going, yeah. Where you been all my lifetime? Well, let me fuck you to the sunshine. No, like, yeah, that's true. Does Pastor Troy have a Trap or Die 1 or 2? Fuck the album shit. Does he have a Trap or Die 1 or 2? Tell me.
I
Like
would
out here.
say
No.
you're not
Let's
even
talk.
gonna let me
No,
answer.
because if you want to bring because here's my thing with you putting Troy right there, and this is where people probably took issue with it, and this is probably why the Shade Room put it on because it's gossip worthy. Mike, down here in Atlanta, and this is what I'm saying. How about this? I done ran into the nigga Troy and talking broke bread with him. I had his number once upon a time. I done told you, I done had conversations with Jeezy before too. I knew some of Jeezy's people through some of my fam. Down here, Mike, did Pastor Troy have anything that rung bells in this city like Trap or Die 1 and 2? Fuck that album shit.
We ready.
That's what I'm saying. You talking about one song.
No,
I'm talking about two
I'm
whole
talking
projects.
ready for war. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying, Mike. So listen to what I'm saying. So
you talk about
listen,
Trap or Die 1 and 2 where he's rapping over other people's shit?
no, listen to what I'm about to tell you. Part of the reason why you and I have the same guy at number 1, although our lists differ at different points in different ways. Like our top end is actually kind of the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we kind of feel the same way about a lot of things, even though it may like differ just like slightly. But at the top, we have Scarface. And we have Scarface at number 1 for much of the reason that we have a Nas and Jay-Z conversation about who's number 1 or who's number 2 and how you want to formulate it and how you want to format it. That catalog, Mike. So it's like, is We Ready and vice versa? Like Epic? Is it better than most of the shit in Trap or Die 1 and 2? It's like, yeah. Is it better than Trap or Die 1 or 2? As a whole, it's like no. And then you get into the album stuff, and it's like Pastor Troy, even though if you feel like Jeezy took his style and he needs to be docked points for it, it's like, no, I get what you're saying. But you don't get to take Trap or Die 1 or 2 like off the table for Jeezy because he took Troy's style. Because it's like Troy never proved to us, and I fuck with Troy. When I mean I fuck with Troy, when I used to manage restaurants and hotels and shit downtown, I used to see this nigga all the time. For what he did for this city, I've seen niggas who did way less act way worse. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So as a man on some man-to-man shit, he has my ultimate respect all the time.
He's an ambassador, man. And I'm not even a fan like musically that.
No,
yeah.
I mean, Mike, I could tell you I could get even more personal with it and tell you how I knew him once upon a time even more. But just like as a man, like on some man-to-man shit, like on some G shit, like on some what up, dap you up, say hello to you, talk to you, give you his phone number, break bread with you if he see you about your business type of nigga. Oh, no. He stand up. But as far as this rap shit is concerned, you feel me?
You
I
keep
can't put
talking
him
about
ahead of
Trap or Die
Jeezy.
1
I
and
can't
2.
put him ahead of Jeezy just off Trap or Die 1 or 2.
You keep talking
That's
about Trap
without
or Die.
101. That's without 101, 103, or the recession.
You keep talking about Trap or Die 1 and 2. And, you know, and I'm
Yeah.
just going to say this respectfully. I wasn't that impressed by them. I'm sorry. I just wasn't. I wasn't.
Mike,
Listen,
you
and
don't
this
get
is
to
for me.
override the
This
streets,
is for
though,
me.
Mike. The streets of Atlanta say yes.
I mean, the
This is
streets
a
of
black
Atlanta
hub.
said
This
yes
is a
to
black
Troy,
hub in
too.
Mecca.
No,
This
but
is a
no.
black
I
hub in
mean,
Mecca, and the street said yes.
listen to what I'm saying, though. The street said the same thing about Troy, right?
Yeah, but not as no, Mike. What
I
Jeezy
disagree.
What Jeezy did has never been done down here since, including Ti.
But
The way
Troy
Jeezy
was
had the streets
before it.
has never happened. No.
But
The way Jeezy had the
let's
streets
be
down here
real,
has
Coop.
never happened.
It
Mike.
was more
It's
than music.
never
It was
happened.
more than
Mike,
music, though. We talking music. It was more than music. Eric
Mike,
Terrell
okay,
with the
so
super chat
okay,
says.
so this is the thing. Okay, so peep my style. This is what I mean when it's different. I'm in Midtown. I'm making a play. This is oh shit, what year is this? Oh Mike, fuck, this is literally 14, 15 years ago. This is before Asai is even born. It's before my daughter's born. I'm with a dude from New York, right? We're riding and he's like, this Jeezy hood we riding through. Like, I knew it was Jeezy hood. I'm from down here, even though I've been in Cali. But Mike, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was different talk.
He was on the Def Jam, great marketing.
When they was down. No.
He was on the Def Jam, great marketing.
No. He resonated with people differently, though. And that's what I'm saying. Like, no. That shit matters. You got to have the people behind you. Ain't nobody ever had the people behind him.
Troy
in a
was the
metropolitan
people's
area
champ.
in the South, the way Jeezy had Atlanta
Troy was
behind
the
him.
people's champ.
Like, you don't get to take that away. It's not.
No, I'm not taking anything away.
No metropolitan area.
I'm saying, listen, I'm not taking anything away. I'm just saying between the two, I saw people galvanize behind Troy basically from nothing, man. Like, it's different. We all know
shit. Mike, you talking that AUC shit.
I'm not talking about AUC shit. I'm talking period. Like, Noble playing GA was an anthem, man. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Kilo Ali set it off for Atlanta. He out-rapped both List, Cocaine, White Horse, Love in Your Mouth, and Baby Baby, etc. I love Kilo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, and if we talking the Atlanta list, you know,
I could go on and on.
Do you hear what I hear
is the first like banger I ever heard come out of Atlanta.
Old Bally says, where's Master P? Ghetto D is a classic. I love Master P too.
Hold on. Let me finish this. This is what I'm saying. Because
hold on. But see, what we don't get to do, hold on, I'm going to finish the super chat and I want to respond to something he said. Mike, your list is trash. Stealing Styles is nothing new. Pastor Troy gets no run in Jersey, ever. Jeezy is a legend in these parts. But honestly, and this is what I was saying earlier, and I said this. I want to finish this though. Respectfully,
okay, I'm sorry.
respectfully.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I ain't talking to you. Respectfully, I'm saying a Southern list, it doesn't matter what Jersey thinks. To me, and you might view it differently. I'm viewing this from a Southern scope. And I'm just saying, like, Jersey probably ain't bumping 8-Ball and JG either. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. Like, and I say that respectfully, Jersey. You know?
I get it. I get what you're saying, but Mike, listen to what I'm telling you. When I'm coming back from Cali,
you talk about other places again.
No, listen. No, let me finish. You gotta let me finish.
Okay.
When I'm coming back from Cali, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm making a move with somebody that's from New York, right? And we are both on the same shit, and we're making a move. And the meeting point in our conversation is Jeezy and the corners he used to be on. That means the music that he's making has hit different than what Pastor Troy is doing. It's gone further. And so you're speaking like I hate to be the one to break it to you. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. on Piggy Bank, the only part about Piggy Bank where I thought 50 really got anybody was when he told Jadakiss, yeah, in New York, niggas like your vocals, but that's only in New York, dog. Your ass is local.
Well,
that was the strongest shit about Piggy Bank. And when I was riding with the dude from Brooklyn, and I just came fresh from Cali, and we riding through Jeezy's corners, and we having a whole Jeezy conversation. I ain't been in the A in 3 years. This nigga just moved down here, and we talking about this nigga corners, and it's like Trapper Dot 2 is not out yet, Mike.
So what year are you talking
Trapper
about?
Dot 1.
What year are we talking?
Different in terms of how it's resonating with the streets, and Troy never did that. And yes, that shit matters.
What? No. I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna
come back from Cali and get a nigga from New York, and we ride through Jeezy corners, and he knows Jeezy corners more than I do. That affects shit. That means the shit that Jeezy's saying went past Atlanta.
That means that Jeezy signed to Def Jam and the other guys independent.
But
that's what that means.
But this is what I mean. Even Def Jam, even Def Jam signing Jeezy is legendary because it's like Jeezy was like, "Well, I don't need this money or need this deal."
Jeezy has been signed to Def Jam since the beginning. And you know what? This is the thing. This is the thing, man. I remember.
You think Quavo better than Jeezy?
Let me finish real quick. I'm gonna get to that.
You think Quavo better than Jeezy though? Because
I'm gonna get to that. I want to take one point at a time. Let's talk about the Def Jam thing. Because I remember way back in the day, man, this is when we was at Georgia State or whatever. I was with Ron. We went to Strokers, right? It's the first time I had ever heard of Jeezy. And this is when I was working in radio too. So it was before it hit the radio. We were at the strip club. They kept playing Jeezy, right? And it was, and we was asking the stripper, like, who is this? She was like, this is Jeezy. He be making it rain, whatever. And she gave us one of those, burnt CDs from back in the day. The shit said Def Jam. So the first thing I ever seen with Jeezy on it, it said Def Jam. And again, there's no way I can confirm that. I remember what I saw, I know what I saw. But to confirm that even further, I was watching Jeezy on, I think it was TV One, where he was talking about his life. I think it was like one of those uncensored. And he said Kevin Lyles signed him to Def Jam. Kevin Lyles left Def Jam in 2003.
Listen,
I'm just saying. So all of this stuff that looked and appeared to be grassroots was Def Jam funded, and we are comparing the impact. Let me finish. We're comparing the impact of an independent artist versus a major artist.
No, I can't let you do that.
It's the truth. Can't let me do what? It's the truth. He was signed.
No, it's not the truth.
It's not the truth.
I'm going to tell you the
truth. Kevin Lyles
didn't
sign him. He said this.
Listen to what I'm telling you. I'm telling you about the story when I got back from Cali.
Okay.
You want to hear the story right before I left for Cali?
Go ahead.
I'm pulling up with my brothers, with the twins. They going to see their man Anwar. Anwar dead now. We go to Anwar's house. Anwar just fucking got out of jail. He was fucking selling his ride so he could fucking pay all his bills. He had some kids and shit. His baby mama was tripping. Anwar was one of Jeezy's right-hand man. One of the last things I seen, Mike, before I left Atlanta was a tape before the nigga Anwar died that my brother showed me with him on stage with Jeezy right before he had got popped and shit. Okay? Jeezy had it like that before Def Jam ever fucking popped up in these streets. I know that shit personally live. So what you're saying is not true. Jeezy's following. I got a tape before I moved to California where niggas is on the fucking east side and fucking in Atlanta saying Jeezy shit word for fucking word before L.A. Reid ever shows up, Mike. That's for my fam.
L.A. Reid didn't sign him.
But when you're saying,
Kevin Lyles signed him. He was on Def Jam
never had it like that down here. That's different. When niggas is popping in tapes, when niggas is in the hood popping in tapes about your show in another neighborhood, and you don't have a deal. This before Def Jam called, Mike. This is before Go Crazy. This is before Trapper One. This is after niggas got locked up and murdered, and the nigga Jeezy started doing live shows.
So cool.
You understand?
Let me ask you this.
Troy's never had it like that in Atlanta, Mike. If you want to talk that Atlanta street shit, Troy never had it like that. I got niggas that's outside that'll verify that nigga Jeezy was official and niggas
That's
was saying this
fine.
shit word for word before L.A. Reid and Def Jam ever pulled up. You cannot say
So
that
people
right.
were saying Troy stuff word for word too, man. Let's not act like Troy's impact's
In the
not what it is.
AUC, Mike, that's why I keep bringing it up. It's like, yeah, they
No,
were saying it
no. In the
in the AUC. It's
bounce.
different.
In the bounce. No. Troy ran the bounce. Anytime Troy was anywhere in the vicinity of the bounce, that shit
I
was
give you
shut
Troy
down.
on the
And the
bounce. No,
bounce is
no, no. I
right there
came
on
down to the bounce.
Bankhead.
Mike, I came down to the bounce.
Yeah. Come on now.
Mike,
We're
my
not
man
going to
used
do
to
that.
work
I
at the
remember.
bounce when I was in Carolina, and I used to come down to Atlanta. He was at the bounce, Mike. I'm talking about the whole streets, Mike. I got
I
tapes
know,
of this
the
nigga
whole
Jeezy got a crowd of 1,000 people chanting his shit. There are no
Bankhead would be
tapes of Troy
shut
like
down.
that floating around the city, Mike. You understand that,
Let
right?
me ask you
There's
this.
real tapes of Jeezy being in the hood and in the club with the real crew, with the real gang, and niggas saying his shit word for word. Troy does not have it like that down here. Nobody's ever had it like that down here.
Let me ask you this.
Nobody's ever had it like that.
Let me ask
it's not
you
even
this.
a Troy thing.
Let me ask you this.
Outkast and Goody never had it like that, Mike.
Let me ask you this. Did Kevin Lyle sign Jeezy to Def Jam?
L.A. Reid is the one that's really responsible. Kevin
Jeezy
Lyles is the guy
says
that they
that
send to do
Kevin
the Brandon
Lyles
and
signed.
Mark, and L.A. Reid is the one that got that deal closed. L.A. Reid's the one that got that deal closed.
Jeezy says that Kevin Lyle signed him to Def Jam. And also, I think it was, I want to say it was Angie the other day. They were talking to like Fat Joe or something, and they were just talking about how things changed for Jeezy specifically when Jay-Z came in the building. And Jay-Z actually became president of Def Jam in like 2004. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, P. Troy is not better than Soulja Slim. LP says, Mike, how you feel about Jeezy is how I feel about T.I. Let's see. I know we missed a whole bunch in this exchange that we just had. Let me see.
I just don't,
Jay
like,
Short
I
says,
you're saying
I feel
about
you,
Troy
Mike.
because you feel like Jeezy took Troy's style. That doesn't make Troy the better artist, though, Mike.
I think that, outside of that, I think that Troy's run was longer. I think that Troy's run was more impactful in its time. It was slightly before everything. I think that Troy not only made way for himself, I think that any artist that was coming up in Atlanta at the time needed Troy on their records. Like I said,
I'll give you
T.I.,
that.
Luda, Lil Jon, all the way to Big Not to mention, I think that because Re-Ready is still, let me finish. Re-Ready is still the Falcons, No More Playing GA and all that stuff. These are anthems for teams down here. Like, does Jeezy's catalog really have the legs that some of that Troy stuff has?
Yes.
Does it?
Like, the fact
Do
that
we
you're
really
saying that
still
is
play
absurd.
Jeezy
like,
like
listen,
that?
Oh, hold on. I get everything that you're saying. So let's.
I think it was a moment. It was a great moment, and I think you're really connected to that moment.
No, I am, and a few different ways. I like Troy, like on some like real like Atlanta. Like, how about this? I'll tell you this. Pastor Troy, like Mike, I done seen all these dudes. Pastor Troy way more approachable than Big Boy and T.I., and they're approachable. Like, I got niggas that done ran up on T.I. and Big Boy, like, while I've been with them. They're like, Coop, you want to take this picture? It's like, no, I don't want to take a picture with the nigga. Like, I'm Coop. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't do shit like that. But it's like, I've seen them pop up and be cordial, like, with niggas like that. And so they deserve credence for that. Troy's a step beyond that. And so I fuck with Troy. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's people
like, he's a step beyond that. Like that's one. Like, how about this? You pull
almost
up
to
on
a
Troy,
fault.
You pull up on Troy in the club, and it's like, and he respect you, and you acting and behaving the right way. Like, that nigga will sit up and like smoke politic, which, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Talk the shit. You know what I'm saying? No, I done ran into him in a few different scenarios, so he's like that. So he has my respect. You understand? So I don't want to make it seem like I'm being disrespectful to his contribution.
And same here, man. I don't want to sound like I'm being disrespectful to Jeezy's contribution. I just feel like because the thing is, man, like, I think for the lane that Jeezy's in, if you critique the music like we would do, like for a Ludacris or whatever, it comes off like on some disrespectful shit. It's not that. I don't think his catalog aged that well. In the same way that I would say about any other artist. I don't hear that stuff like that anymore.
So I feel you on that. If you want to say Jeezy's catalog did not age well, that is fair to say. But here's what I would tell you, especially outside of Atlanta, when Jeezy has a real catalog to go to, Troy has more songs to go to than catalog. That's why I keep bringing up Trap or Die 1 and 2, because it's like, well, Mike, I can give you a Troy and Jeezy argument on some mixtape shit without bringing up major label Def Jam releases that got pushed and marketed. Because here's an example that I give you. The same way that you're telling Troy, help niggas, it's like, well, I can go to 103, and there's a nigga that people was fucking with in the city, but who nationwide wasn't known like that, named Future, that's on 103, and 2 Chainz, also on 103. Now, Mike, you and I know that when 103 is coming out, we're fucking well acquainted with Chainz and Future when 103 is coming out. The nation is not. No. So when you're talking about the way that Troy put people on, no, Jeezy's done some of that too, specifically with 103 with Future and Jeezy. I mean, with Future and Chainz.
Did he give them like a feature? Because that was one of the things that
Troy was singles,
doing.
Mike.
Huh?
Way Too Gone, and Super Freak was singles, so he gave them good looks. Super Freak had a video. Way Too Gone played. Greg Street was playing Way Too Gone. That's how I knew the shit was real.
I feel like 2 Chainz was already kind of on fire with Super Freak. I mean, because before then he had Riding Around.
That was solidified. How about this? Yeah. That was one of those. That was one of those
already
in moments. Fire. That was one of those. That was, how about this? When Chainz was on Super Freak, that was one of those that nigga really done made it moments, because he had just dropped the Got One off the mixtape shit not too far before Super Freak had dropped. So he wasn't like all the way there yet, Mike. This is before he did No Lie with Drake.
Man,
Yeah,
he this was Riding Around Getting It time.
Super Freak helped take it there.
This was Riding Around Getting It time, and I remember that was huge. Jay Short with the Super Chat
says... This is about 2 years after that. This is about 2 years after that, actually.
Jay Short with the Super Chat says, I feel you, Mike, because you can't come out here and not put E40 on the list, especially in North Cal. I don't care what New York thinks. We were raised on 40. Yeah, and see, that's the thing, too. And it's kind of like
40 and short.
I totally respect where everybody else is coming from with that, but it's like, again, I'm not going to go into Brooklyn and say somebody is better than this person or over this person because of how we felt in Atlanta. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little different.
If it's legit, hold on, Mike. So you wouldn't walk into Brooklyn and give Nas a legit argument over Big?
Yeah, I would do that, but I'm just saying, from my perspective. Okay. But I'm just saying,
it's like there's respect in the niggas' hood, and then there's just being honest about shit too.
LP with the Super Chat says, Mike, what's that got to do with who's better? Okay, I'm glad you say that.
That's bar for bar. Hold on. Let me submit something to you with what you just said, Mike, before we go further. Like, how about this, Mike? I want you to name one rapper down here that, based on the shit that you said, is better than Snoop if we have Snoop in Atlanta.
What do you mean?
We got Snoop in Atlanta, name one rapper better.
So we're going to play Snoop Dogg in Atlanta.
Because Snoop, because I'm going to be honest with you. If we're actually ranking it MC-wise, well, Pac gets ranked ahead of Snoop. Ice Cube gets ranked ahead of Snoop. Kendrick gets ranked ahead of Snoop. If you go to NoCal, 40 and Short might get ranked ahead of Snoop. So, but if you were to put Snoop down here, wouldn't he be number one easy? Fucking so. Landslide.
I think so. Christopher Hogan with the Super Chat says, Jeezy gets more play in Louisiana than P-Troy. And, LP says, Mike, you praised T.I. for his tapes. And he was signed too. He was. Let's see. James JT Jr. Thomas says, we count too, Mike, in Jersey respectfully. We love 8-Ball and MJG. Troy is just trash up here. I think the thing I'm saying is you can't.
He's not an MC to a lot of people. Jeezy's more of an MC to some cats outside of Atlanta.
Give me the bars. I want the evidence from you. Give me the bars. Because I remember when I heard
remix.
Go ahead.
No, I'm So Hood remix. Jeezy on the I'm So Hood remix, where he talking about put him in his Vans. I ain't talking about the shoes. Like, no. He got some bars. He's
put him in the Vans. I ain't talking about the shoes.
Put him in Vans. I ain't talking about the shoes. Yeah.
Come on.
Like, he's a better songmaker,
Those are
right?
Bars
does he have
now,
a black
man?
president? No, does he have a black president? You brought up Shawty Red. Does he have a Who Dat? Does he have a Who Dat? Does he have a black president? Does he have a Welcome Back? Does he have a 3 a.m. with Timbaland? Does he have a Dope Boys Go Crazy with Jay-Z? Does he have a Bang with T.I. and Scrappy?
Where are the bars on these records? Give me the bars.
And an Ovation. No. I'm not talking about bars because neither one of them are bar rappers.
Okay.
Jeezy's the far superior song maker.
You think so?
If you want to tell me,
Does he have a vice versa?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. If you want to say no more play and GA and vice versa is better than everything Jeezy's made, it's like, okay, but it's like standing ovation.
For me, The City is probably better than any song that Jeezy ever made. That's
Oh,
actually
I
my
love the
favorite.
city. I
That's my
love the
favorite
city and
Troy
vice
record.
versa.
That
Okay,
shit
but if you
crazy.
want to, but this is what I'm saying. First of all, I don't agree with that because it's like I listen to shit like "Go Hard" on Trap or Die 2. It's like better than that to me, or like comparable. Illin with the Clips. The shit with Plies.
I love
it's
Illin.
like, no, Mike, he's a better collaborator. He's a better song maker. If you want to say
I'm
bar
gonna say
wise is
this. Let me say
comparable and
this,
he
Coop.
stole his style, it's like I get you.
I'm gonna say this. I've never been impressed with Jeezy as a rapper, and I guess maybe that's where a lot of this is stemming from. I used to think he was more of a comedy rapper, where like I remember he was on the Fabulous record, where he was like Jeezy Commando. Matter of fact, I ain't Fat Joe, but I can make you lean back. Save your ammo, don't waste it. Got him dodging bullets like he in the Matrix. And we used to laugh at Jeezy's lines. Like, I mean, the movement was real. Bitch, Get Your Mind Right's my favorite Jeezy song.
Hold on.
I like
Kendrick
You Did.
references Jeezy on Good Kid, Mad City, Mike. He resonated.
I know. Yeah. That's cool and all, but you know.
Where's Pastor Troy getting referenced on an album of that caliber? Literally, Mike, and I know because I moved from where Jeezy is from to where Kendrick is from. I've like actually moved there. That's a whole 3,000-mile separation. If you want to be exact, Mike, about 2971, if memory serves. So tell me why Pastor Troy doesn't resonate on an all-time great album like Good Kid, Mad City.
Again, you know me.
Niggas in Compton riding around listening to Jeezy for a reason, Mike.
You know I don't care about cosigns, man. I mean, I would be a hypocrite if I said I did, because when people big up Eminem, that doesn't matter to what my ears.
You can't say that you don't believe in cosigns, though, Mike.
I didn't say I don't believe in them. I take them with a grain of salt, and I think it's cool. You know what I mean? That people have influences. It's generational, and it's honestly geographical too. But when we're talking about somebody that had a huge Def Jam push, that's what they came up on. It is what it is.
But this is what I'm saying, Mike. I'm objective. Like, how about this? Like, the nigga Jeezy done heard my music and, like, kind of faded on me. Like, the nigga Troy never heard my music, but, like, was cooler with me. It's like, as a person, it's like I actually prefer Troy, but it's like we talking, like, some music shit. And on some music shit, it's like Jeezy's just superior, like, every way.
I'm neutral in the sense that I'm not a fan of either, to be honest. I just know what I saw when it comes to, the people around me. Just the whole city and how people galvanized behind, one that was super early and did it from an independent standpoint, where the other one was signed to a major the whole time. You know what I mean? Like that's the stark difference there. And I think the one thing about Troy, where he may have misstepped, I think Troy waited too long to sign his deal with Universal, because, like I said, from an independent standpoint, he was out here killing it. And all of the guys that he helped to get to that status, where Luda signed his Def Jam deal, T.I. signed his first one or whatever, he was past these guys at that point. And everybody had signed, and he needed to do his deal, I guess. And he just ended up signing to Universal, put out Universal Soldier. But at that point, it was a little too late. I think Troy, to hit people on a nationwide level, if he had a chance to do so, had to do that around 2000. But I think he had a local sound. I'll give you that.
Okay, so this is what I'm trying to submit to you. When I left Atlanta, summer of 2005, Jeezy had shit on lock in the streets before I left. Without a deal. This is after all of Troy's shit. Mike, this is after T.I. has dropped I'm Serious and trap music.
What year are we talking?
What year? No, listen to what I'm saying. T.I. has dropped trap music.
What year? We talking 03?
No, I'm talking 05. I left for Cali in the 04, 05.
Jeezy had a deal by then.
No, he did. Mike, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
He said Kevin Lyles signed him. Kevin Lyles was at Warner in 04. Look up. You be doing your Googles. Look up when Kevin Lyles left Def Jam.
When does 101 come out?
101 came out in 05.
101 came out in 05,
Yeah.
right?
Look up when Kevin Liles left Def Jam. Do that. Well, let me go to
He
these
has
super
a deal
chats
in
real
101,
quick.
right? Like, listen to what I'm saying. When I'm leaving Atlanta, he has shit on lock. The Manny Fresh song is out. When I'm leaving, Mike, when I come back 2 years later, guess who still has shit on lock? Troy never had it like that.
I
When
disagree.
I came back to Jeezy and Jazzy Faye in the Lambos in Atlantic Station. Not nobody talking about Troy. I'm sorry, Mike. No.
Let's do the years real quick because this is what I will say. Troy had Atlanta on lock 99, 2000. I would say 2001 as well, right? What years would you say Jeezy had Atlanta on lock? I'm giving it 05.
Okay, so when did trap music drop?
03.
04, 05, 06, 07.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mike, ass niggas outside, Mike. I'm sorry, but you're just wrong.
No, I'm not wrong with that. I would give 05, maybe 06, because 05 was
Mike,
that
you're
summer.
Wrong. Mike, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I am not
Mike,
wrong.
He had the streets. Mike, he had the streets so much that he makes Good Kid, Mad City in 2012.
Okay. Mad Max with the super chat says,
you don't have, Mike, you don't make an album from a dude in Compton, California having shit on lock in Atlanta for a year. I'm sorry.
It was more
That just
nationwide
doesn't
at that
fundamentally
point.
happen.
That's why we got people from Jersey defending it.
Mike, if you can give me some evidence where an artist...
I would love, you know what? I'll come back with evidence
let me finish. When an artist from a coast has influenced another artist to 5 to 7 years after that artist dropped to reference them on an album, that means you got the streets, Mike. That's like referencing Dr. Dre and Snoop. That's like referencing NWA. That's like referencing Public Enemy. That's like referencing Rakim. He had the streets like that. And you just don't want to give it up to him, but that happened.
Where the bars, man? Mad Max with the super chat.
No, the bars aren't there, but Mike, it happened.
Mad Max with the super chat says, listen to this, Coop. Sounds like me defending 50. Yeah. It does sound very similar. Unknown says, no horse in this race, but Troy did it without BMF. DJ Bruce Almighty said Troy wasn't always
Can I speak to the other side of that? Hold on.
DJ Bruce Almighty, home real quick. Let me get through some of these. Says Troy wasn't always independent either. He signed to Universal after We Ready, I Declare War. He didn't have 3 good projects, man. LOL. And I like Troy. Yeah, I mean, at the time, it was like Troy was pretty much forced to do his deal after everybody ended up doing the same thing.
So are we cutting it vice versa or Universal singles? You know that, right? Vice versa, and are we cutting the Universal shits, though, correct?
Are we cutting is vice versa. I think vice versa was as well. LP with the super chat says Fabo's greater than Jeezy. He said Mike said Fabo's greater than Jeezy. No, I didn't say it.
I'm just saying, like, I think that you're really like underrating how much Jeezy resonated, not as an MC, but in the streets across the country outside of Atlanta. It's almost like, you're thinking too local about this one. You're almost thinking maybe the way I think about Rhapsody sometime because I'm from Carolina. You feel me?
You're kind of thinking like the take that I take on
Rhapsody because I'm from Carolina is kind of the take that you're taking on Troy because you're from the A. But if you look like outside of Atlanta is what I'm trying to tell you. It's like I get what you're saying because Troy is so integral to what changed and what happened here. And I don't want to take that away from him. I'm going to say that again for somebody that's ran into him multiple times. He's a great guy.
He changed everything, man. And
you know what? Everything. No, I'm not taking that away.
And at that time, me being the rap nerd.
Jeezy did, though.
Me being the rap nerd.
Did, though, Mike. Mike, I'm sorry. Like, I used to go to Visions. Like, I done been in Visions and been at Bell Bottoms and been at the bars where Jeezy and BMF and them was, like, buying out the bar. Like, the shit hit different with what Jeezy did in the streets. I was at...
But we're talking about stuff that has nothing to do with...
This is young me.
We're talking about stuff that's outside of music, though. I think that's where it gets convoluted. Because we're talking about things that are outside of music.
Listen to what I'm saying, though. No, listen to what I'm saying. This is what Jeezy did before a deal. I was in a bar one night. I was with a couple of homegirls of mine. This was probably the year I turned 21. It's really hazy. It's been a lot of drugs and alcohol. Look here. This nigga bought out the whole bar and they announced it on the speaker, and they started playing shit off of Trap or Die that I had not heard yet, like after he did it.
Let
My
me
young
ask you
ass
this.
is like, I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? No, listen to what I'm saying, Mike. Listen to what I'm saying. He's like, I'm like, and this is me. This is young me, 21, 22-year-old me. I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga buying me drinks and like buying out the bar? And like, I'm like, what the fuck is this that they playing?
He
And
got
like,
your support early.
Mike,
It was a great
Mike,
campaign. It's a great campaign.
Mike, the nigga standing at the bar right next to me and literally tapped me on my chest right quick and go, yo, chill. That's me, homie. I'm good people. Drink up. And I'm looking, I'm like, who
Great
the fuck
campaign.
is this?
Great
It was the
campaign.
nigga, like, he went around this city and he did that. So, like,
Great campaign. Let me ask you this.
yeah.
Let me
He was
ask
his
you
own
this.
marketing campaign. Him and BMF, that whole shit that people, BMF put him on. It's like, no, that was a whole, Mike, that was a whole marketing campaign.
Let me ask
They
you
went
this.
to bars and bought them out and played his shit, strip clubs. It's like, who is, Mike, I'd be at the strip club talking to the fucking chick I'd be fucking with. I'd be like, who is this nigga? I'd be like, is that the nigga that I just heard in Buckhead?
Again,
like,
it's
yeah.
great memories, I'm sure, you know. But let me ask you this though.
Streets.
If I can provide you evidence that he was signed in 2003 to Def Jam, will that change any of these perspectives?
No, how about this for somebody? Okay, so I was born in 1981.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand, when I'm seeing him outside, I'm literally seeing him outside. 2002, 2003. I'm talking old Atlanta. I'm talking old Atlanta before the shooting and they shut Buckhead down. The niggas was everywhere. My brothers used to do security. I was everywhere. I didn't sleep. I was in every fucking club. The niggas was there all the time. I got tired of hearing that nigga's shit before his shit even came out. And then I found out my brothers actually knew his fucking people. It's like, no, he had it like that.
We was out there, man. Coop.
Outside.
Coop, you and I were hanging around the same people, man. We worked at the same place. Folks was coming out there. So yeah, I was out there.
Do you remember Hina? Do you remember Hina?
Yeah.
Okay, so Hina's 21st birthday, I went with her and took her to Visions, and we snuck into a section. Guess who was there?
Jeezy.
Whole clique getting shouted out on the intercom. No, there's a whole fucking champagne campaign, nigga. I was alive for that.
Jay Short with the super chat
like
says.
I ain't seen no shit like it since. Closest thing is when Game dropped when I moved to Cali.
It was a movement. Jay Short with the super chat says Jeezy was less impressive once Ross hit stride.
True.
LP with the super chat says they passed him because they were better, Mike. LOL. Listen, listen. I wasn't a big Troy fan, and me being the rap nerd that I was, especially at that era. After I heard Akumanai, my whole perspective changed on shit. So when Troy came with We Ready and everybody was going crazy, I was like, what is this? But even with that being said, I saw the impact. I mean, he made Birthday Bash pretty much. He made it a thing in the city. Inspector with the super chat says, all I seen was snowman shirts in Harlem from Thug Motivation 101. Yes, the push was crazy. The push was incredible. Great marketing.
He did the push himself first, Mike. This nigga L.A. Reid came down here and was like, stop what you're doing.
I think
we're going to take care of all that now. The champagne campaign was already rolling. There was already snow falling in the streets. Like there was already snow falling.
That's where we differ.
In the streets. The shit was already live, Mike.
That's where we differ, Coop.
The shit was live when I was leaving Cali, and by the time that I came back from Cali, the nigga was super rich and was pulling up in Atlantic Station with Lambo with the doors up, like literally like, hey.
Like I said, Coop, what if I could tell you that he was signed to Def Jam in 2003? It wasn't, L.A. Reid wasn't even there yet. He was at Def Jam before L.A. Reid was.
I don't give a damn.
But you're telling the story in wrong order. I'm talking the behind the scenes industry side of it. You're talking the street side of it. And I think that there's mixed messaging.
This is hip hop, Mike.
It is hip hop.
This is Atlanta.
It is hip hop.
Streets matter.
The streets do matter.
I pulled up on that nigga one night. Him and Jazzy Faye was in the Lambos together, Mike. That was 06. That was live. There was a crowd of hundreds of people, and they were around Jeezy and Jazzy Faye, because guess who had the streets? This is 06, Mike. I'm pulling back up. It's late 06. I'm pulling back up. Asaya's not even born yet. My daughter's not even born yet. She's still in the belly. Like, these niggas is outside, and everybody's riding the wave, and it looked the way that it looked when I left 3 years before. Troy never had it like that, is all I'm telling you. Troy never had it like that. So when you're like the run is short, it's like, no, nigga, I left, came back. The nigga was coming up. I came back like the nigga had it.
I think the marketing campaign was a lot more vast, a lot more behind it. I mean, you had corporations behind it, you had the streets behind it. It was huge. Eric Terrell with the super
The
chat
streets have
says,
you.
Coop, Snoop in Atlanta without Dre and the DLC's guidance as an average MC because he would not have been on the Chronic nor Deep Cover. Come on, man.
Oh, you
That is
want to know what I
interesting.
will? You know what I do want to say?
What's up?
And this is something that's often overlooked. Why do we not talk about the fact that it's obvious that the DLC helped co-write Nothing But a G Thing? How does Nothing But a G Thing start?
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Yep.
How does this Funky Enough start
Yeah.
off? By the way,
Yeah.
how does this Funky Enough start off? Just little hip hop history moment, so
Yeah,
you know
you're
who
right.
the fuck the DLC
Same
is.
shit. Yeah.
Right. So the start off to Nothing But a G Thing comes from It's Nothing But a Funky Enough by the DLC.
Great record.
Right.
One of the greatest records of all time.
One of the greatest. That's one of the greatest MCs of all time. That might be the guy that like never got his real chance. Like that guy. Imagine what he would have done if he would have got Dr. Dre's production like Snoop did for Doggy Style and like got Daz to piggyback and had the whole team behind him. Because he's the one that taught Snoop how to put shit into bar form, is he not?
Yeah. I mean,
how did
him and Dre come together? Do you know?
I think it was Easy.
Okay. Easy's like the glue to everything. Man with the super chat says Pastor Troy never had the streets of NY like Jeezy. Because again, he was more local, he was independent. By the time he went major, it was too late. Everybody had passed him. Because they had signed their deals before him. That stuff matters too. And I guess again, I get it. We're all looking at it from a fan's perspective and thinking that everything is kind of like, okay, you make the better music, you're going to be pushed to the forefront. You having financial support fucking matters in this game. Especially the way that rollout was. And it was an incredible rollout. And I agree with you. The way Jeezy had the streets was different than anything I'd ever seen. And like I said, I was in radio through the T.I., I guess, resurgence, I'll say, because after he left Arista and hit the streets with mixtapes and ended up on Warner Brothers, he hit the shit in a whole different way. But Jeezy's wave, you're right, was way different than any of that. It kind of mirrored what 50 Cent did. You know what I mean?
You want to know what? Okay, so how about this? Let's just kind of compact and unpack some things.
Mm-hmm.
On a hip-hop level, without bringing up like Usher and TLC and those acts. What Outkast and Goody Mob did was bought major label recognition down via L.A. Reid and Babyface, because Babyface and L.A. Reid came down to Atlanta and not only find viable R&B talent like Usher and TLC, but Outkast and Goody Mob, okay? Right. Outkast and Goody Mob and Dungeon Family pretty much had shit on lock. But then there was a wave and things started changing. And that's where you hear Killer Mike, Bone Crusher, T.I., and eventually Jeezy.
You skipped the stage.
No, that's right. No, let me finish. Mm-hmm. The gap between that is Pastor Troy.
It is. And you know what? And
so he's important.
I've always said this too, and this is me being the hip hop nerd I am and loving lyrics or whatever. I feel like when Goody Mob dropped the ball with World Party, which actually sounds better to me now than it did in 1999.
It's still whack.
I blame Goody Mob for opening the door for Troy to come in and take the city in the way that he did. It was their turn. So
that's what I'm saying.
I could be wrong in that, but I've always said that. Like, World Party's ball dropping made way for somebody like Troy to come in the way that he did and take everything over. And now the whole sound had changed forever. At least
so this is what I'm about to say. So you know who Pastor Troy really is? And this is what I'm trying to kind of express to you. And I mean this like in a glowing type of way. Well, Pastor Troy is... And I say this from a New York perspective. Let's talk New York perspective.
Right.
Pastor Troy in the late 90s and early 2000s is kind of what some of those early 90s acts are in hip-hop, like Brand Nubian, Nice and Smooth, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Like, he hits you with something, but it's not the next thing. It's the transition to the next thing, which is Nas, Big, Wu-Tang, Jay. You feel what I'm saying?
You're right.
Boot Camp Click. And so Troy's a transitional guy, so he's gonna be remembered in ATL more like the way Method Man was talking about Lord Finesse's first album is the way Troy's gonna get remembered. Did you see that part where he's talking about Lord Finesse's first album?
Mm-hmm.
You see how all the niggas in there when they talk about Lord Finesse first album was like, whoa, because that's 91.
Yeah.
So that Till Infinity, like when he dropped that, but by the time he came back around, oh, well, that nigga Nas is super nice.
Right.
Pop then came up. Big is getting busy. Whole Wu-Tang Clan's in effect. J. Rue the Damager. Redman done got stupid nice. Scarface is making the diary down in the South. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Outkast is doing fucking Players Ball for a Christmas album. It's not the fucking same. And so there's nothing against Troy, but Troy's kind of our Lord Finesse.
He's Lord Finesse, buckshot-ish. You know what I'm saying?
Buckshot. Yeah. There we go. I like Buckshot more than I like Lord Finesse. He's our Buckshot.
Yeah, dumb it down with the super chat says y'all still talking about the bottom of the list. The real problem is Fonte should be on the top 10. Big Boy should be in the top 3. Most of your lists don't have bars. Okay. And I think I said this initially. I don't think that my list was more so predicated on bars. It was just their ability to put together, material impact and what the impact of that material did. Maybe Jeezy should have made my top 25, but I think between the two, if I had to choose between Troy and Jeezy, I would have to give Troy that nod, and I think the equalizer in my mind was the Taking of the Style. Because I would say that impact-wise, obviously Jeezy's global impact was bigger, but I think that, from a Southern local standpoint, I think Troy's impact was comparable.
Okay, so hold on. So let me flip this to you right quick. When I say this, well, can't I say the same thing to you about this whole Pusha T and Lil Wayne thing?
You could.
It's like, you feel me?
You could. And you know what? I think that Pusha T is a better rapper than Wayne.
I'm more of a Pusha T than Wayne, Mike. He's always okay. So let's get this understood. There's a difference between star power and bar power. He's always been better. So what I'm telling you about Troy and Jeezy is that, well, the bar power is comparable, and Jeezy is clearly the bigger star and better song maker. But I get what you're saying. In the Pusha T case, and I want to start. So let's start at the top. How about this? People
let's start
at the bottom. Let's start at the top. Let's start with Scarface. Why is Scarface number 1 on our list more than any other reason, Mike?
Hold on. Catalog and storytelling. I want to get to these super chats and we'll go to that real quick.
Yeah. Let's get to
Nas the Goat says. Yeah, Nas the Goat says Troy was signed to Universal in 2001 before Jeezy came. Of course. But again, that work that he did in 99, 2000, and I think a lot of the stuff that happened locally, people just aren't going to be privy to. It wasn't really
They don't know what we know, right? They don't know what we know.
They don't know what we know. And that's fine. You know what I mean?
That's fine. We don't know shit the New York niggas know. Some of that shit the Method Man was saying, I was sitting up there like a kid. Like, I felt like I was 13 again listening to Method Man. I was like, oh, is that how it happened?
Nas the Goat says, Mike, the problem isn't Troy. It's Quavo over Jeezy. I'm going to get to Quavo, too. Okay.